Hello, everyone. I am excited to say that we had an amazing time at the C-Suite Leadership Retreat at the Avaerage in Marrakech, Morocco. You know what? The treatment was beyond 5-star. The feedback is just amazing. The content of the discussions, paradigm shifted. Just 2 days, right? And it's been an amazing time of pulling away for C-suite leaders and founders and CEOs. And everybody is going home with a paradigm shift, with new ideas to execute. So I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been a part of our C-Suite Leadership Retreat 2024. And it's my pleasure to announce from the 8th to the 11th of July, 2025, we'll be having the C-Suite Retreat in Dubai. Everyone who attended this year is signing up to come next year. Some of the people who were not here are already signing up to be there. Our numbers must remain small. So my encouragement, sign up right away. Go on my Linktree and just find the link and sign up right away, because we are so sure that in a very short time, all the slots that we have will be taken. So I look forward to seeing you in Dubai in 2025 to your success.
The C-Suite retreat is amazing. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The high level of excellence, the first-class treatment is exceptional.
It's been so wonderful. It was strategic.
Every session has been powerful, and I will definitely come back next year.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this live leadership live discussion. Okay, so it's time to bring in all of our friends on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Yes. Okay, as usual. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Let's know the city and country you're joining us from. I see my friend Anne Bruce from California. I see Tobago from South Africa. Yes, nice to have you here. Joseph from Anambra State and Tim from Chicago. Wow. And Yetunde from Calgary, Canada. And Emmanuel from Enugu. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so let's try and make it brief. So we dive into the discussion straight. I have Fortress from Abia and Stephen from Lagos and Babajide from Toronto and Imina Boy George from Port Harcourt and Leo from Maiduguri and Olubukola from Texas. Wow. Mr. Lavington from Nairobi. Okay, so many people joining in now. If you can you please share? Can you just share, with someone who is following This is important. This is a leadership discussion. And well, nice to see you, Dr. Blessing, and Pastor Shea, and Architect Sam. Amazing. Okay, so, oh, Femi Adeyemi is joining. Has the same last name with me, joining from my part of Nigeria. Okay. John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership, right? And I have a book titled, I bought a book titled The Fish Rots from the Head. And I say, where the head goes, that's where the rest of the body has to follow. Okay. So because decision making happens in the head. So this is a leadership discussion, right? And it's absolutely important because in the first place, oh, thank you. Yes, Babajide, you were at the Dare Leader Conference in Toronto. It was amazing, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Yes. We were in Toronto on Saturday, the 22nd of June this year, right? It's a powerful, powerful one there. Okay, Sheyi from Helsinki, thank you for joining us. Okay, so once you mention the word leadership, the first challenge is that a lot of people sign out psychologically. They just sign out of that discussion in their minds. And that actually is the problem. I'll tell you why. Most people still don't have the correct definition of leadership, right? Most people still don't have the correct perspective to leadership. We think leadership is about you occupying a position that is higher than that of other people, right? Oh, no, occupying a position is not what makes you a leader. Yes, that's not the only thing that makes you a leader. Yes, it makes you a leader. Yes, but a leader in title. The real leadership is the dynamics happening between you and other people. And that dynamic is described as influence. Influence, the capacity to affect the state of another person. By reason of your being a human being, you have influence already. Okay, just for the fact that you are a human being, you have influence already. So whether you are influencing consciously or not, you are influencing. You may be conscious of it, you may not be conscious of it, you are influencing. And my challenge then is you've got to be intentional about your leadership. Okay, so thank you, Evangelist Kaide from Kaba. Pastor Sajid, wow, from Pakistan, amazing. And Festus from Valencia, Spain, and Emmanuel from Nigeria, and Oluwatobi from Ilorin. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so listen, there's something I call average leadership quotient. Average leadership quotient. So whereas the average person, not understanding this concept of leadership very well, is always looking for that magical person that will change everything. We all know you can have one star player in a whole team of 5 or 10 or 20 people, and that one star player will be able to shine through once in a while. But if everybody else on the team is of mediocre performance, that team is not going to win a league, for example, or a competition. No. So the more majority of us shack or abandon our capacity for leadership influence, the worse things are going to be in the society, and the more we're all going to be lamenting. So your building and exercising your leadership influence automatically lifts the average leadership quotient. It's either of your family or of your organization or of your nation. The last time I mentioned what my friend, the leadership expert, said many years ago when we were preparing for the the Super Bowl here in America. And he said, this is the team that's going to win. I said, how do you know? He said, they have the better bench strength. He said, the team with the better bench strength always wins. Amazing. In other words, where the players on the field are superstars, the ones on the bench are also superstars. Okay? So that's why I am passionate. So whereas before you would keep the discussion on leadership into a classroom, especially in the business schools, we are bringing the discussion about leadership out in the open because some of us are living in places that need radical change, radical improvement. That improvement is not going to happen until a large number of us acquire leadership character and leadership skills. So that's my first call to us here today, okay? A call to you to accept that you have the capacity to lead. It was accepting that reality that changed my life, literally. Because I often say it when I was a teenager or when I was young, very young. If I was in the group and you asked someone to volunteer to lead the group, I would be the last person to do so. I did not believe that I was leadership material. I believed that leadership was for extroverted people. And because I am introverted, I signed out. I believe leadership was for people who could express themselves easily, who could move a crowd, people who had charisma. You know, the word charisma is gift. It's interesting that we would interpret charisma to mean being able to talk, but charisma is gift, and everybody is gifted. It's just that people's gifts are different, right? What makes you a leader? The fact that you take whatever resources you have and use them to serve other people, use them to improve the lives of other people, to improve the conditions of other people. Okay? That's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you a leader. Okay. You know the Pareto principle. If you've heard about it before, an Italian named Alfredo Pareto, he said that from his research, he found out that 20% of your effort produces 80% of your results. 20% of your effort produces 80% of your results. 20% of the people in a country control 80% of the wealth. So you know what I decided to do? I decided to populate the top 20%. The first thing I did was I made the journey myself, right? I made the journey myself. I made the journey. Top 20%, then top 10%, then top 5%. Any country where I am, I want to be in the top 1%. I want to build influence. I want to have it. And I want to use it positively. Okay? So I'm challenging you. If it's your first time of joining us on the live like this is a leadership class. And I'm calling on you to accept that you have leadership potential. So when my life changed many years ago, it was because somebody gave me a book to read, an older man. He said, there's something about you. Go and read this book. First book ever I will read on leadership. And the author said, Donald S. Altman said, this was about 34, 35 years ago. Okay. that's some 34, 35 years ago. And the author said, whoever you are reading this book, if you've ever had what the Bible says that God created man in his own image, then you've got to accept that you have leadership capacity. Then the author listed the qualities of a leader and said, you read through this list, you will see that you have some of those qualities already. The ones you don't have, you can cultivate. It was a paradigm shift for me. It was life-changing. That day, all my excuses died. All my excuses died. And I then accepted, yes, once and for all. I have some of the qualities of a leader, the ones I don't have. Those are my personal development goals now. I'm going to develop those qualities. That's what I've been doing since then, 34, 35 years. That's what I've been doing, developing the qualities. There's the character side, there's the competence side. The character side, I want to continue to develop the capacity to love people, to genuinely care for people, to have empathy for human beings, to spot gaps in people's lives, and to want to see whatever it is I can do to improve their condition. That's what I've committed my life to do. Now it's amazing that since I committed to do that, it's been amazing. When you love people, and you genuinely care about them, you won't lie to them. With that, you find out you have motivation to be honest, right? You won't steal from them. You won't kill them, right? Rather, you will want to see how to improve their lives. And that's what I've committed to do. It's amazing. Honestly, from when I read that book and began to practice the things I saw, that I just literally floated to the top. Since then, just literally floated to the top. This is my call to you today. Prioritize. To prioritize your own leadership development. Move to the top 20%. And then be determined that you will use your influence positively. Okay, good. So far for my call. The last few weeks we've been discussing about public leadership. Public leadership. Again, because you find out that the people in the public service tend to serve a large number of people, right? When you talk about creating an environment for potential to thrive, for people to thrive, for businesses to flourish, public servants play a major role. Am I right? Yes. Public servants play a major role. We said public leadership is the ability to influence one or more people to serve a community while holding public office. The ability to influence one or more people to serve a community while holding public office. So if you work, for example, in the civil service, you work in an agency of government, you're a public servant. You're also a public leader. Thank you, Rema. You're in Cameroon. Love you too. Thank you so much. Okay. You're a public servant. You're a public servant. If you serve in any agency of government, now what you're doing is to serve the public, to meet the public, to serve the citizens, to meet the needs of the citizens, to help the citizens to achieve whatever their goals are. That's your primary purpose for being a public servant or leader. So when I use the word public leader here, don't sign yourself out simply because you're not a director or permanent secretary or a minister. Oh no. Because the essence of leadership is service. You're being a public servant or civil servant makes you a public leader. So to a large extent, the transformation of your environment depends on you. Okay. So, and there are many of us. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Oh, yeah, yes. Okay. So the book that changed my life, I don't know if it's still in print. Is it Christian Leadership by Donald S. Altman? Something like that. Yes. Christian Learning Christian Leadership by Donald S. Altman. You'll likely be able to get some copies, old copies maybe, online. Learning Christian Leadership by Donald S. Altman. Okay, so yes, please. If you're on this live program right now, can you please share it? Just share it directly with someone. Share it on your platform. Share it with other people. Invite them into this discussion. Okay, this is very, very, very important. Invite them into this discussion. Okay, so if you are head of a department, head of an agency, head of a ministry, also you're a minister, or you're a governor, or premier, or thank you, Mayo, you're welcome. Okay, or you are a governor or a president. This is very, very important. The purpose of being a public leader. Oh, by the way, I have a feeling that a lot of people on this call are actually here for preparation, that some powerful opportunities are coming ahead of us. Okay, I happen to be a strategic leadership expert, so I help people to succeed, not just for today, but also for tomorrow. I have a feeling that many of us on this call are going to be public servants, are going to play one role or the other, not long from now, and that this is a preparation. Success is what happens when opportunity meets preparation. Okay, opportunity meets preparation. It's amazing that in many countries, a lot of people believe that, politics is a dirty game. Politics is dirty. In the first place, there are so many roles in public service that are not elected offices, right? And they are equally important. They are very, very important. And you don't even need to contest any election to get elected. You've got to prepare all the same. And for those that are going to contest elective offices, what I would like to tell you is, it's one thing to win an election. It's another thing entirely to be a good leader. It is possible to have one and not have the other. It's possible for you to be a good leader and to not be able to win an election, because it's a skill, right? And it is possible to win an election and not to be a good leader. It is possible for you to make big money for your company and for you to still not be a good leader. And many organizational CEOs and founders tell me that. Some of the guys at the top, they hit their target, but when it comes to people skills, they're poor. Okay, they break people in the process of achieving their goals. So this is preparation for someone, right? Good. So public leadership is ability to influence one or more people to serve a community while holding public office. Okay, what do I want to talk about today? Communication, leadership communication. Leadership communication. In our last two discussions, we discussed about the importance of shared values, because we spoke about vision. The fact, as a public leader, you got to have a vision. Have a vision for your department, have a vision for your ministry, have a vision for your state or for your region, for your nation. There's got to be a vision. There has got to be a vision, right? Where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no vision, there's no leadership. The starting point of leadership is that vision. And vision is capacity to see with your inner eye, to be able to see the new, see what is possible with your imagination. And I define vision as the ability to see people, places, and things, not just the way they are, but the way they could be. Remember, people first, places, things. I see, right? At this point in time, I'm in the United States of America. I see America the way it could be, right? Providing leadership for the world. I'm also a citizen of Nigeria. I see Nigeria the way it could be as a developed economy. I see Nigerian cities and infrastructure developed, right? That's where you start leadership from. But remember, I said people. So it's not just infrastructure, but the people. I see their quality of life changing, okay? So you've got to start from there. And we said, for you to have a shared vision like that, it needs to be built on shared values. Okay? So you've got to have a vision, you've got to have values, and so on. But today, let's talk about, I'm assuming that you have vision. I'm assuming that you are seeing tomorrow. I'm assuming that you are seeing possibilities in the midst of chaos. That's what makes you a leader. Yeah. Ordinary people see things the way they are. Leaders see things the way they are going to be. Like someone said, ordinary players run to the place where the ball is. The genius runs to the place where the ball is going to be. Come on. 5 years will come, 10 years will come, 20 years will come. And it's either we are intentional about how we shape the future. We literally we have to create it. We've got to create it. Or we allow things to go the way they want to go, and you will be surprised. You will be being dragged around. It's either your family or your organization or your nation will be dragged around like the tail of an animal. Nobody makes decisions in the tail, right? So if you refuse to think, that's what you just find life turns out to be. So I want us to be intentional, okay? So you start with vision. And my point today is it's not enough for you as a leader to have a vision. You need to be able to transfer it into the hearts of other people. That's when the leadership dynamic really, really works. You activate people's imagination. You activate their inner eyes. They can see their lives the way their lives are already. And every sane person wants improvement, right? So you see the amazing thing about leadership. You see the amazing thing about leadership and about communication. So when you say communication, in fact, the first thing that comes to us is, oh, that means we've got to have ability to talk. Interestingly, when we were in school, they taught us reading, they taught us writing, they taught us speaking, and there is this other dimension to leadership, to communication, that they did not teach us: listening. If you're going to be a good leader, you've got to listen to people. You've got to be sensitive to people. You've got to hear what their needs are, right? Hear people out. Hear people out. Okay. It's not just talking that makes communication. It's the effective transfer of the ideas in your mind into the other person's mind. The challenge is when people are hearing you, they hear you with filters, with their own filters. So each person hears you differently. Life is about interpretation. So it is when you listen to someone that you can use their frame of reference to transfer into their mind what you want to say. Like, okay, I speak English, you speak German. If I try and learn German, then speaking to you is not going to be difficult, right? That's just an illustration. So leaders listen to people, right? Leaders listen to people. Leaders listen to people. And then with that, we can effectively transfer our own ideas into people's minds. This is important. Leadership communication helps us to share the vision for our department, for our agency, for our nation, right? To share our vision. And when you've listened to people, this vision becomes a collective vision that people actually own, right? Let me mention the importance of repetition. If you think that people will get you the first time, you are grossly mistaken. You've got to say it again and again and again and again and again and again. Anyone who's interacted with the world of advertising or marketing knows people need to see you at least 11 times, or see your product, right, or service at least 11 times, on at least 4 different platforms, So you got to, they have to hear it and see it everywhere. You've got to be repeating every single opportunity that you have there, leader. You've got to say the same thing again and again and again and again. Okay? So we need leaders that have vision. I hope you got that. That's the most important. There's nothing to communicate if you're not seeing something new, if you're not seeing something better. As you begin to cultivate your leadership skills, you need to sign out of the complainers party of the world, right? Yeah, you can't afford. See, the glass is either half empty or half full. If you're going to be a leader, you've got to focus on the fullness in the cup, not the emptiness of it. What you focus on is what expands. Okay, it's when you focus on that fullness that, one, you learn to be grateful, you cultivate the attitude of gratitude, because everything doesn't fail at the same time. It never does. There are always still opportunities, and it is when you're positive that you recognize the opportunities. Okay, so you got to have that vision, but more than that, then you've got to communicate effectively, transfer that vision into other people's hearts. When they see what you're seeing, they're going to be as passionate for change as you are. From my experience, this is my observation. The people on your team are different. They're different people, different personalities. So they hear you on different planes. Everybody may not get what you are describing at the same time. Prepare for that, dear leader. Yeah, in leadership, we call it resistance. Prepare for resistance to the vision. The first set of people to get you are the people that can handle abstracts. In other words, as you're describing something in their imagination, the way they are wired, it's a matter of personality differences, not that somebody is better than some other person, okay? So some people have the capacity to handle abstracts. They can construct everything in their minds as you're describing it. Not everybody is wired like that. Some other people are touch and feel. Touch and feel, okay? So until they see it working, for them, seeing is believing, right? So you got to know your team. So the first set of people will be there who can handle abstract. For the other set, what do? You need to have drawings. You need to have pictures. You need to create models. Thank God today for the internet and for all the skills that we have online, right? We can create 3D objects, 3D movies, and all that, Thank you, Pastor Badaki. Right? So You need to create models. You need to create pictures. So there's this class that we run at our Daystar Leadership Academy every year. It's for teenagers. We call it DLA for teenagers. We run it during summer. I take a class there, National Development. And this is in Lagos, and I roll pictures. First of all, I put up an argument with these young people, 13 to 19-year-olds, and tell them why underdevelopment is bad. I give them data. Infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, low life expectancy, da 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 da. The data from the developing parts of the world. And then I tell them I have a vision for a Nigeria that is developed. Then I roll this video reel. And in it, there are pictures of Nigerian cities and schools and libraries and hospitals and rail system all developed. And honestly, within a short time, those young people will be shouting. Vision is powerful. Okay. So everybody will not get you the first time. There are some people you need to explain to. You've also got to identify opinion leaders. There are opinion leaders. If they are not with you, maybe 1 or 2 or 50 or 100 or 1,000, some other people are not going to be with you. So you identify the opinion leaders. You actually discuss with them before you get to the meeting where you're going to be sharing your vision. There are some people you need to talk to before you get to the place where you're going to share your vision. Okay, I don't want to keep us long. Let me add finally one lesson that I learned many years ago with the church that I pastor in Lagos, Daystar. We were about 500 then in attendance, and I got this vision that we were growing to 2,000, and I announced it. And I expected everybody to be happy, and they were just looking at me. We're growing from 500 to 2,000. They were looking at me. So I was wondering, what did I say wrong? And then afterwards, one of our people came to me, a lady, and said, "Oh, congratulations. So we're going to grow." I said, "Yes." She said, "So it means that the new people that are coming will be more than those of us that are in this church now." I said, yeah. She said, "It also means that I will not be able to walk up to you like this anymore. I will have to book an appointment with your PA." I said, by then I got the message. I said, no way, no, for somebody like you, no way. Then I understood why they were not cheering when I shared the vision that we were going to multiply and become 4 times what we were. All the while that I was describing the vision, all they were seeing was how it was going to affect them. And they were not seeing good things. Wow, right? So I learned a big lesson. Everyone has an internal radio. It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? WIIFM. What am I going to gain? What am I going to lose? How is this going to affect me? And for God's sake, as you are describing your vision, just know that you are introducing change. Change is going to happen. That's what you are saying. Change is going to happen. Oh, well, without change, there cannot be progress. All of us ask for progress. All of us ask for things to be transformed. But then when the reality of change dawns on us, we realize that it is threatening. It threatens our sense of stability, threatens our sense of security. Our world as we have known it is going to go, right? And then we are afraid that we may not have the skills, we may not have the qualities that it will take to thrive in the new environment that is going to be created. Anyway, I came back the following week. I made the same announcement again and got a different result. I made the same announcement again in a different way. I said, well, just like I said last week, we're growing from 500 to 2,000. I said, some of you here have been praying for husbands, You've been praying for wives. You know why you've not gotten your wife yet? Your wife is not here. Your wife is not here. Your wife is one of those new people that are coming to this church. That was when they brightened up and said amen. Like, your husband is one of those people that are coming. Amen. In fact, some of you have been looking for jobs. The person that will give you the job is one of those people that are coming by then. Right? Thank you, Prince. What's in it for me? You remember I said listening is very important to communication, that you need to know what is important to people, and it has to be the focus of the discussion, that there's going to be a promise of improvement in people's lives. Why is it that a lot of public servants just bomb out these days? You know, make an announcement of a new policy, whatever, and it's greeted with anger and all of that. Why? Because we've not paid attention. One, there may not be that genuine care for anybody, right? We're powerful already and all that. So there may not be that genuine care for the people. Two, we may not even have bothered to listen to the people. Three, we just may not have the communication skills, right? So, so that's you see why I've put it on myself to find any hill I can stand on to shout. And social media is the place to stand on to shout in our day and age, right? To draw everybody's attention to the need to develop leadership character and to develop leadership skills, just so that our world can be a better place. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to take a few questions before we run, right? I know it's late for some of us, so I'm going to take a few questions. But before then, I have a book. I have a book in the works, being published by a major publisher, John Wiley & Sons. It's been around for some 200 years. They're based in New Jersey. In the United States, in terms of book writing, you know, I wrote, my latest book is titled Dear Leader, Your Flagship Guide for Successful Leadership. That book, I wrote it coming out of COVID because I saw many public leaders, especially, display poor leadership and values and skills. So the book is a reference book for life. When you need something, you go in there to find it. There you will find multi-generational leadership, right? Because that's what's happening to some of us now. You have older people in your workforce, you have the Gen Zs in your workforce and all that. How do you manage that? So the book is really sophisticated. I'm just saying that to say my new book, it's titled Shifts, 6 Proven Steps. 6 steps to transform your mindset and elevate your leadership. Shifts is 10x, 10x from Dear Leader. It's a new dimension entirely. My model for changing your mindset and transforming your life is in the book. And I'm happy to say that it is on pre-order already. It's on pre-order on barnesandnoble.com. It's on amazon.com or bookshop.com, thrifty.com, all the major retailers online. Shifts. And shifts, yes, shifts. So if you just Google shifts, Sam Adeyemi, pre-order, you can order your copy right away. And your book will be delivered on February 5. That's the release date, February 5, 2025. I'm saying it to call on you to let us make it a bestseller. Oh, yeah? It's shifts, right? It's plural. The S stands for C, H for hair, I for insight, the F for formulate, the T for transform, and the S for succeed. Thank you. Don't order only for yourself, right? Order for your spouse, for your children, order for your friends, for your boss, order for your staff. Woo! Okay. Let me check out some questions here. Emmanuel says, I have an internal interview tomorrow. I want to join another team. I have discussed informally with the lady that will be interviewing me tomorrow. Tomorrow is the formal interview. Okay, so we are all praying for you and wishing you outstanding success tomorrow. Prepare, give it your best shot, but also sleep very well, okay? Good. Thank you for joining us, Chini, all the way from Halifax. Amazing. Thank you, Prince. Timothy says, I am truly inspired listening to you. My mind's eyes are always listening to transformation from your wealth of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Thank you. Okay, good. So on the screen right now is a QR code. All you need to do is, if you can, right, you can screenshot, but if you have another camera that you can point at it, then fine. Okay. So let me ask, has this been useful to you? If it's been useful, can you type yes? Can you type yes in the chat room? If I get 5 yeses, then I will have an idea that this has been helpful to someone, right? And we can continue next week. Oh my God, I got a lot of yeses, more than 5 already. Thank you. Okay, so let me go back to the questions. Thank you, Lubukola. Yes, in the chat room, she put the link to shifts on Amazon. Thank you. Which other book can you recommend I read while I wait for shifts? Oh, on Amazon, I have Lead. Lead by Sam Adeyemi. It's a leadership book already. I have on Amazon, Success is Who You Are. Success is Who You Are. These are powerful, life-changing books, okay? Okay. And if you want something on finances, I wrote The Parable of Dollars. It's also there on Amazon. Okay. And remember, Dear Leader, your flagship guide to successful leadership is still there. How can we deal with people who are sharing the vision with over and over again and they're not getting the vision? Oh, at some point, you'll have to leave some people behind. I'm sorry to say so. Remember the Pareto principle. 20% of the people are producing 80% of the results. If, like me, you've served on teams, for many years, you would have noticed with consistency, everybody on the team does not put in equal amount of effort. You have some people that are totally committed, and whatever happens, they want to make sure that team succeeds. Even from when you're in school, when you have a joint project, right, with some other people, it's the way it works. Okay? So whenever you get to that point when you need to make a big shift, you apply the Pareto principle. Since 20% of the people are producing 80% of my result, and I want to multiply my result, what should I do? Cut off the 80% that are producing only 20% of my results. Then take the 20%, that are producing 80%, and then get more people like them, right? Expand that level of quality. Since 20% is producing 80% of the results, if you now multiply that 20% times 5, multiply the results 80% times 5, that is 400%. That's the way you make big jumps, okay? That doesn't mean you should hate people. Oh, no. Love people, but you've got to make the tough decisions. Now, you don't throw people away. You help them. You work with them, you coach them, because that in itself is the essence of leadership, right? We want to help people improve. We want to help people achieve their highest potential. So if you see someone lagging, you work with them, you sit with them, you try to understand their story, you try to understand if they experienced trauma in their lives before and help them find healing. You give them new opportunities. Some people need to be moved to new roles altogether because now they are square pegs in round holes, right? So you've tried to find what their gifts are, what their talents are, what their opportunities are, what their skills are, what their qualifications are, and move them to roles that are more suitable. So you try all that. But then if eventually somebody is just too damaged to be able to understand and to commit to your vision, you got to let them go, just so they can find the best environment for them to thrive. How come the Western education hasn't played major roles in preparing Nigerians for public leadership? Okay, so that's a good question. What I'll say is this. Those people who get, the Nigerians, right, that get public education in the West, that get Western education, when they work in the West, they serve well. They serve with excellence. When they move back to Nigeria, usually they want to serve with excellence. They are unable to serve with excellence because of what I was saying earlier on. One person is not going to do the magic to change one nation. It's average leadership quotient. We have a leadership culture that is destructive. Culture. No. I'm not talking about leaders. Most people in the country are the same. That's why we've been changing personalities, right? And the country is not been changing. Let's face the culture. And when you face it, you start with yourself. And then you exert as much positive influence as you can. I have a lot of friends in government, and I can vouch for some of them, good people. But then when they want to effect the change, they are overwhelmed. Let me give you a very simple illustration. So I went on radio almost 30 years ago, right, teaching success principles, called it Success Power. My first producer was US trained. And he said, when he just got back to Nigeria from the US, he was just, his mind was assaulted driving on the road every day. He would see people overtaking on the right, creating multiple lanes when there was supposed to be one another. So he said he would just park his car. He would just park his car, come down to talk to the commercial bus driver and lecture him, on what he should do right, what he should not do right. That's how every day when he was on the road, he was giving lectures. After some time, he got tired because with all your lectures, they will insult you on that road, right? You can drive on the streets of Lagos, get to a traffic light, right? Traffic stop. The light will be red, and some people behind you will be blasting their horn, communicating to you that something is wrong with you for stopping because the light was red, just because there aren't other vehicles coming from the other directions. You get what I mean? It can be overwhelming. A former governor told me, in fact, we had this discussion when he was a governor, and when I visited him, they were commissioning about 200 projects. He went on the attack. And he told me how he was having serious problems with the members of his own cabinet. In fact, one of them came and told him that they were having a discussion somewhere, members of the State Executive Council. And some of them were saying, Governor, come and solve vision. I'm speaking in Nigerian local language now. Is your vision like the governor will just be saying, this is my vision. Is it vision we want to eat? the people at the highest level of public leadership in the state. That was what they were thinking. While the governor, yeah, who has a PhD from a global university, right, was communicating his vision. They were saying, is it vision we want to eat? And he told me that they were threatening him that if he did not allow them to eat, they were going to make him lose the next election. So after some time, some of these people just give up. If you can't win them, join them, right? So it can be overwhelming. That's why we're bringing the discussion of leadership out into the open space, right? Because we're leaders. We don't need titles to lead. We don't need titles to influence, right? So all of us need to do our part to shift people's thinking, shift people's mindset. I don't know what to tell you about what I don't even want to tell you what I think the questions I have on my mind about democracy in Africa. Because at the end of the day, the majority wins, right? So what if the majority is not thinking right? What if you want to bring development and the majority just wants you to share money? That kind of a thing. You will lose the next election, right? So it's a bit tough, but we're not giving up. That's why we're here. We've got to raise the thinking, increase the average leadership quotient in the country. That's what I think. It's tough work. That's why people want to avoid it, but we need to take it on and to do it. Joseph is asking, we're almost done, just a few more minutes. Please remember again, my book, Shifts, 6 Steps to Transform Your Life and Elevate Your Leadership, on pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all major retailers. Secondly, if you are a pastor on this call and you are in North America, Canada, you're in the USA, or you're in South America, you're not far away, or you'll be visiting, right, the US. On Tuesday, 3rd of December, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'll be spending the whole day with some pastors. It's our 1,000 plus growth training day. I've had the blessing of pastoring a church from scratch and testing all the leadership principles, on the church. I've learned church growth principles. I've learned how to build a healthy church. I've learned how to build church systems, right? I've learned how to structure the finances of a church and all that, right up to succession planning. It's a comprehensive discussion that I think you don't want to miss. So I'll encourage you to sign up and join us. The number has to be limited because it's highly interactive and we want people to go home with solutions and with solid plans. All right, good. So the earlier you register to join us, the better. Okay, our team will display the link we did earlier on, right? We'll display the QR code and the link. I believe it's also on my link tree on social media. Just check my profile there on the link tree. You will see the link to the 1,000 plus growth training day. All right, just a few more minutes. Let me find the question that will be. Sir, do you have any book on family leadership? Well, not by that name. But I believe that my dear wife, Pastor Nike, has books on the family. What time next week? Same time, 5 p.m. on Monday, 5 p.m. EST. That's 10 p.m. in the UK, 10 p.m. in Nigeria, right? We're almost there. How do you resolve innate characters that conflict leadership? Fantastic. So you set the character goal, right? Yes. So be clear about what you want. Like, oh, I have a challenge with pride. I tend to see myself as being superior to other people. Good. So what's your new character goal? To cultivate humility, right? That's the character goal. 1, identify people. Okay. Identify. Team, let's display the link to the 1000 plus growth training day. There is it. So you can point your phone at it, or your phone camera, and get the information and join us on December 3rd, right? 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So you said humility is now a goal for you, right? As a character quality. So identify people who are humble, leaders that are humble. 2, 3 of them, right? Benchmark. You want to benchmark against them. You want to read up on humility, and you want to have an accountability partner. It may be your spouse, maybe a friend, right? Let them know this is my goal right now. I'm going to be accountable to you, just so that we review maybe once a week or once a month, and we see how far I have come in my journey. And what do you do when you're building character? You replace habits. That's the most important part of it. You replace habits. So, and habits always have triggers. Habits always have triggers. There's either an environment, there's something you see, there's something you hear that triggers a particular response from you. So you then retrain your mind. Whenever I hear this or whenever I see this, I will do this. You can't kill habits in a vacuum. You can only replace them, right? Okay, so whenever I feel this way, or I hear this, or I see this, I will do this, right? And when you do that repeatedly for several weeks, you find out your new habit is getting stronger, the old one is getting weaker. Colin says Lead is a very powerful book. Thank you. It's available on Amazon. Everyone, yes, maybe it will help for someone to see it. This is what it looks like. Lead, proven principles to multiply your success at any level. I need to let somebody see my name. Okay. Lead, proven principles to multiply your success at any level. It's available on Amazon. Okay. Shola is asking, Shola says, thank you for tonight's training. Will their leader be available for purchase as we attend the leadership conference at Daystar Lagos next month? Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay. I'm almost there. We're almost there. Oh, yes. There's a big event coming up in Lagos, Nigeria on Saturday, the 8th of February, 2025. Remember, I mentioned earlier on, the release date for Shifts is February 5. So this conference, leadership conference, is holding. It's going to be huge. Please watch out for the information. We just want you to save the date. We want you to save the date. It's going to be a huge leadership conference in Lagos, Nigeria. Shifts Conference, Lagos, February 8, 2025. Just block that date. We'll give you more details soon. I should mention, though, that 8 February 2025 is the exact 30th anniversary of the day our program Success Power went on radio. Yes, 8 February 1995 was the first day our radio broadcast was broadcast, okay, on radio. So it's a big deal for us, right? We're going to share powerful stories of transformation, okay? Good. How can you solve the problem with over-familiarity in leadership? If your executive and religious body who are close to you are not taking the vision of the religious organization seriously due to over-familiarity. What that suggests is that your leadership rests more on personality than on principles. If you get my book, Lead, Proven Principles to Multiply Your Success at Any Level, I address the scenario there. How to do principle-centered leadership. For example, you've got to have clear-cut policies. That's important. Principles are not ambiguous. Electricity is electricity. Gravity is gravity. Okay? In the same way in your organization, right and wrong must be clear. 2, as you set the policies, you must subordinate yourself to the policies. In other words, even you have to obey the policies that you are fixing. 3, the policies must be documented. 4, your organization or group has to respond to situations and to people based on those policies. Principles have no respect for persons, right? Gravity doesn't care whether you're tall or not tall, whether you're plus size or you're skinny. Gravity doesn't care. If you jump from the top of a 10-story building, you're coming down. Okay? Oh, you cannot say February 8th is my birthday. Mine is also a few days before that, but that's beside the point. Good for February babies. Okay, so that's how you solve the problem of over-familiarity. You make your leadership to be principle-centered. I called my lovely sister who was working with our organization once because she had an altercation with someone, another family member, and I said, come into my office. And I said, if you do this again, get into an open quarrel with someone, I'll sack you and I will help you to get a job elsewhere. But this place, it has to be run well. And you need to be on my side on that. And we agreed, right? So with that, once you're not playing favoritism, you're not showing any prejudice, any bias. So for me, I'm colorblind, I'm tribe blind, I'm gender blind, and whatever. Because principles actually don't respect any of those people. Principles are not sentimental, okay? That's how to deal with it, okay? You will need to be firm. You will need to be firm. But with time, people will get the message, okay? Prince says, wow, this was really helpful. Thank you. Tough decision, let them go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. When is the date for the leadership conference at Daystar Lagos? Oh, yes. We have a leadership conference coming up pretty close. It's pretty close. The Excellence in Leadership Conference, it's in 2 weeks' time. I'll be there, 7th and 8th of November, 9 a.m. Nigerian time, right, to 2 p.m. each day. November 7th and 8th. You can connect anywhere you are in the world. Excellentleaders.org, excellentleaders.org, or you can just type Daystar Christian Center and you'll find your way there. Anywhere in the world, you can join us, right? The theme is the innovative leader. That's what we'll be discussing on. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes, Babatunde Daniel has the physical address. If you happen to be in Lagos, Nigeria, 7th and 8th of November, please join us. Plot A3C, Kosi Road, Oregon, Lagos. Yes, it will be streaming online. Okay, last question, right? Last question. How do you maintain the hunger, integrity, and drive when what you have been doing seems not to be working? Good question, right? Because practically every leader faces this. That's from Pastor Rume, right? Thank you. Whoa, fantastic question. Okay. So the first thing is you don't assume that it means you're wrong, right? Most things don't work perfectly the first time in our world. There is room for experimentation. So whatever it is you're doing for a start, you take it as part of the experimenting, part of the learning. For those of us that are leaders, we never fail. We only learn. In other words, even when it doesn't work, we do not consider ourselves to have failed. We consider ourselves to have learned. Like they said, Thomas Edison said to his assistant, young assistant, the guy said, "Sir, we've tried this thing 5,000 times. It hasn't worked. We failed 5,000 times. Let's leave it and try something else." And they said, Thomas Edison replied, "Son, we have not failed 5,000 times. We have only discovered 5,000 ways in which it will not work. We're closer to the answer now than we were in the beginning." So you try again and again and again. Of course, adjusting your approach. You don't repeat the same thing 5,000 times. You keep adjusting. And then your question is, how do you maintain the hunger, the integrity and drive? It's the dream. Is that you focus on the vision, you focus on the outcome, you focus on the result. Okay. Secondly, the people you associate with matters a lot. The environment you put yourself in associates a lot. You need to read a lot from successful people. The amazing thing is most people assume that when people are very successful, it means that life has dealt them a positive hand. Life has been unfairly good to them. They don't even imagine the kind of challenges that people face before they can succeed. That's why you need to move close to successful people and hear their stories. You'll be shocked at the monumental barriers some people have had to overcome to get to where they are. And that will encourage you. That will encourage you to keep going. Okay, so those are the little bits I can add for now. And there is some point you get to where you have to accept you're on the wrong track and stop what you're doing and shift to something else, right? Good. Faith says, it's very tough in Africa to change mindset towards positive shift. Yes, it is. It's actually, so in most of the developing part of the world, it's the same. Africa, Latin America, most of Asia, that's how it is. But then all over the world, it is difficult to change anybody's mindset. Let's agree to that. And that's why I wrote the book, Shifts. That's actually what it's about. How to change your own mindset and change your life. And what I did in the book was to then move on to apply the same principles to teams and organizations. How to change the mindset of an organization. Then I moved on and ended the book by applying those principles to nations. How you can change the mindset of a whole nation. Wow. Wow. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this call. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish we could stay till daybreak or for the next 24 hours, but we'll be back next week. Just remember, if you're not following me yet on social media, yes, please do. And then some people ask, so apart from these platforms, and so is there a way to do a one-on-one with you? If you're a CEO, a C-level leader, COO, CEO, CMO, right, or a founder, I tend to spend more of my time these days coaching with CEOs. I prepared for it. Apart from my personal experience in building organizations, right? I have the Doctor of Strategic Leadership degree, right? So I am passionate about leaders, about helping you to succeed. So if you would like to find out, how we can do a one-on-one, just send me an email, info@samadiyemiglc.com, info@samadiyemiglc.com, and we will get talking. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. We have this powerful retreat we do just once in the year. just once in the year in July. We had it July this year at Marrakech, Morocco. 2025, it's going to be at Dubai. But the number has to be small, usually about 20 people. So if you want to find out about that one too, you can go on my Linktree, on social media, on my bio, and book a discovery call. Let's talk, okay? I wish you a beautiful evening, or a beautiful morning, or a beautiful day, depending on which part of the world you are in. I wish you a very profitable and productive week. And I pray for God's protection around you and your family. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. Much love, and bye for now.
Hello, everyone. I am excited to say that we had an amazing time at the C-Suite Leadership Retreat at the Avaerage in Marrakech, Morocco. You know what? The treatment was beyond 5-star. The feedback is just amazing. The content of the discussions, paradigm shifted. Just 2 days, right? And it's been an amazing time of pulling away for C-suite leaders and founders and CEOs. And everybody is going home with a paradigm shift, with new ideas to execute. So I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been a part of our C-Suite Leadership Retreat 2024. And it's my pleasure to announce from the 8th to the 11th of July, 2025, we'll be having the C-Suite Retreat in Dubai. Everyone who attended this year is signing up to come next year. Some of the people who were not here are already signing up to be there. Our numbers must remain small. So my encouragement, sign up right away. Go on my Linktree and just find the link and sign up right away, because we are so sure that in a very short time, all the slots that we have will be taken. So I look forward to seeing you in Dubai in 2025 to your success.